Welcome to the audiobook, The Lone Wolf, written by Diamond Lee, narrated by Lila Carey and Evan Lee. Chapter 1. I thought I had it all. I thought my life would always be perfect and blessed. But just in one day, everything was destroyed, right in front of my eyes. I watched as my world crumbled down to the ground, with nothing to live for or nothing to do. I'd just been congratulated by our doctor that I was 3 weeks pregnant. With joy in my heart and soul reflecting in my eyes, I hurried to share my good news with my friends at work, but things took another turn for me. That same day, I was sacked from my work, a company I labored for all these years. As if that wasn't enough, I tried begging because I didn't know what else to do. I have lived my life serving them and making sure to build the company instead of building myself for what was to come in the future. I'm sorry, Alyssa. We did all our best to keep you, but we can't afford your worth, so we have to let you go. Here are your things. Please, you can leave the building, the manager said. With my property already placed in a box and handed over to me, I walked out of the building, feeling heartbroken, with no hope of knowing what to do. Just then, I felt a sharp pain and fell on the ground, with my things scattering all over. The pain was so severe that I didn't know how to help myself. I gasped for breath as I felt my body burning hot. It felt like the pleasure of having sexual intercourse at the same time, but it hurt because it felt like I was being raped. The pains could be likened to the kind of pain one feels when flogged with thorns. Each thrust was total torture for me. My mate was having sex with another. He was betraying our bond, our precious bond. All eyes were on me. I managed to stand up from the ground, gathered my things, and walked out of the premises to take a taxi to my pack. A pack that I had so many doubts about going back to, but I needed to find out who he was cheating on me with, if the girl was worth everything he was making me go through. With each step I took, the pain increased. I felt like I was going to die, but my wolf kept striving forward. She kept giving me the strength I needed to carry on. Getting closer to the pack house, the pain intensified, and I gasped out, clenching my chest tight with my hand, while using the other hand to hit it hard, hoping to reduce the pain, but it only increased. I managed to climb up the stairs, where I heard the sounds of moans. I opened the door of our bedroom to find my best friend riding on my mate, a friend I called a sister. "Do you love me more than that wretch?" she asked my mate, as her ass bounced up and down on his shaft. "Yes, I do. I'm only attached to her for the sake of the mating bond," Rhodey said in between moans. "Then reject her and claim me as yours," Elizabeth said, while increasing her pace, and just like a fool, he agreed to her terms. I wanted to scream out and lash at them, but Leia, my wolf, told me not to. I staggered to the living room and waited patiently for them to finish up with their sex. I shut off their sounds with the noise of weeping. I couldn't understand why all this was happening to me and what I'd done wrong to deserve everything I was going through. A few minutes later, I heard their laughter as they walked down the stairs, and I saw their surprised faces when they saw me. I only smirked. I had my fill, guys. Thanks to Elizabeth for showing me that no one can be trusted, I said to them. "Alyssa, it's not what you think," Rhodey said, trying to justify himself. "There is no need for lies, Rhodey. I heard everything. I should just help you both out. I, Luna Elissa Smith of the Dark Blue Crest, reject you, Rhodey Cathway, as my mate and alpha." The moment the words left my mouth, I was hit hard with so many pains that I felt my legs buckle up. I prayed deeply that my baby was okay, and that I wouldn't lose it because of the pains my mate and my friend are causing. I hated them so much. I managed to stand still and wait for his response. Then he cleared his throat, and my eyes met his blue almond eyes. There was that evil smirk on his face. "Well, go ahead and just accept my rejection, Rhodey," I said. Deep down, I wanted him to say nothing and beg for our love and the mate bond. But instead, the words that came out of his mouth shocked me. I was in pain, and I didn't know if I could handle it. "I, Rhodey Cathway, Alpha of the Dark Blue Crest, reject you, Elissa Smith, as my mate and renounce the title of the Luna from you," Rhodey said. His eyes had no guilt or shame in them, and I felt my heart shattering. I smiled, struggling to handle the pain as I staggered towards the room we used to share to get my things when I heard his voice. "Since we are no longer mates and the bond has been severed, I've decided to take your friend Elizabeth as my mate and the Luna of the Dark Blue Crest pack." When he said it, I heard Elizabeth scream out in excitement, and I smiled as I looked at the both of them. "Congratulations to both of you," I threw out carelessly, before walking up to Elizabeth and whispering something to her. "I hope you can endure everything I went through with him. Since you want it, then enjoy it." I smiled at her. "I hope the both of you die," I said to myself. With that, I turned around and staggered to my room. With the help of the Omega, Troy, I was able to get my things together and roll the bag as I walked past them in their lovey-dovey moments. "Luna!" I heard Harry, my Gamma, calling out to me. "Harry, you don't have to follow me to an unknown destination. I'm going to a place I know nothing about. As a matter of fact, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going to allow the moon goddess to guide my path," I answered. "But I meant to protect you. I am duty-bound to you," Harry said. "Your duty is bound to the Alpha and your new Luna. I, Elissa Smith, free you, Harry Walter, as my Gamma Wolf, and on this day, henceforth, you are bound to serve your new Luna, respect her and love her, just the way you did me," I said out loud, and I could feel the bonds between us breaking slowly until they were completely ripped off, and a painful groan escaped Harry's lips. I could see the tears dropping down his eyes. I know what I did was wrong, but right now I wouldn't allow him to suffer with me in a place I knew nothing about. How would he be able to fend for himself and his family? "I'm sorry, Harry. Please forgive me, and I hope soon you will understand me," I apologized to him, and I turned my face towards the pack's gate. Many of the pack members were present, and they watched me walk away from their pack, never to be their Luna again. I saw the pain and tears in their eyes. I saw and appreciated the love they had for me, and I hated the fact that I would not be part of their life again. But life must go on, and I have a dream to accomplish, with me and my pup. I felt their pain, but I wasn't going to stay in a relationship that wouldn't give me happiness, but pain and sorrow, knowing that very soon he would reject me, and that would have been worse. I'm glad I did that for him and Elizabeth. I wish them what they wish me. Standing at the gate, I turned around to say the final rejection. "I, Elissa Smith, renounce everything that has to do with Dark Blue Crest. I free myself from the bond that held me to this pack," I said solemnly. When the words left my mouth, I felt the connection with the pack broken, and I knew everyone felt it too. I halted a taxi and got in. "To the train station," I told the driver, and he nodded and drove off. I looked slowly as the pack I lived in for almost 4 years slowly faded away till it was no more. I heaved a sigh of relief, resting my head on the seat. I didn't know what lay ahead of me out there, but I was glad I had a huge sum of money in my account that could carry me and my pup until further notice. All I need right now is to stay far away from where Rhodey can ever find me or my pup. By the time he found out about the pup, we would have been long gone, far away from his reach. Chapter 2. Alyssa. Having left the pack house with no one in my mind to help me, I was a discarded Luna wolf among humans in her 3rd week of pregnancy. Who would have thought that that was how the moon goddess planned my life to go? If I had known things would end this way, I would have rejected him when my wolf Leia told me to. I guess I was blinded by the belief of what my mum told me. Finding a mate is a good thing, and happiness will definitely come with it. Well, Mom, I'm not happy, and I am far away from being happy, I said out loud to no one in particular. Passers-by were looking at me like someone who has gone insane, who needs help. Who wouldn't, when a girl was standing by the walkway, yelling and speaking to herself? I would be labeled as a mad person by humans. Thanks to my workplace, I have learned a lot about how to associate and act as humans so as not to be confused as a weird being. Enough thinking, Alyssa. It will be night soon. Let's get a comfortable place to rest our heads tonight. Tomorrow we go house hunting and also get a new job. I hope they will be willing to accept someone in our condition, Leia said. With a load in my hands, I walked over to a hotel to book a room for 2 nights, in case house hunting was unsuccessful, but it seems the moon goddess hasn't forgotten about me so quickly. Besides the entrance of the hotel, I saw a house accommodation with a cheaper rate, and I smiled. This will be a nice little place to start with, I said to myself. We should give this number a call when we've settled down. I walked up to the receptionist, and soon I was heading to my room with the hotel keys in my hand, alongside the poster of the apartment and my load. Once inside, I fell on the bed, completely exhausted and tired. In times like this at the pack, I would have had the Omegas run me a bath and have a full-body massage with dinner right beside me. I guess those luxuries were gone for good. Time to start a new life has just begun. I look out my phone to call the number on the poster, praying silently the apartment was still vacant and I would be able to acquire it. With a 3rd ring of the phone, a lady picked up. Hello? Hello, good evening. Please, I'm calling to make an inquiry about the apartment at 6 Boston Way. I saw the poster and I wanted to find out if the apartment was still vacant or if it had been collected by someone else, I asked the lady at the other end of the call. It is very much available, the lady replied. Good. I will be coming to check it by tomorrow. Thank you, ma'am, I said before ending the call. I quickly took a warm bath, set my alarm, and went to bed. It was 6 a.m. when my alarm clock jolted me up from my sleep. Rhodey, it's 6 a.m. You should go get ready for today. Your people need you, I said, trying to wake my mate up. It was when my hand fell on an emptied bed that it hit me hard that I was no longer mated to him, and we had broken our mating bond. Right now, I was a single woman with a child growing in her womb, and I laughed at myself. I finally was able to get up from the bed and went straight to the bathroom to get ready so that I could meet the lady for the apartment. Our arrangement was 7 a.m. With the full details, she sent an SMS to my phone. Dressed in a big, flowing gown, I hurried out of the hotel room, and I gave the taxi driver the location, and he drove off. When we got to the location, I handed him his payment, alighted from the vehicle, and he drove off. The neighborhood was a little too busy for me. With movements of cars and people, noises could be heard from different houses. Kids were everywhere playing and having fun. This could be a perfect place for my pup to grow up, I told myself. Now I see why this place is still empty, I said to the lady as I scanned through the apartment. The apartment wasn't what I was expecting. It had a leaking roof, and the paintings were peeling off. The apartments needed a lot of makeover before they could be called fit for a human to live in. This is the cheapest apartment you can ever see. I will cut the payment into 2 halves, since you have to maintain this place, the lady said to me. Fair enough, "Can I ask you where I can get a carpenter, plumber, electrician, and a painter?" I asked her. "I can write their numbers for you," she replied. "Sure, that would be helpful to me," I said. Soon we were signing the contract for the apartments. When she was gone, I started calling the numbers that she gave me. Not quite long after, work began on the house. I was going to renovate everything to my taste. I was given a notice that the work would be completed within a week. I started my search for a job until I saw one at a convenience store where provisions and other things were sold. I didn't mind starting from a little place before getting a bigger job. Everything was finalized by the owner of the store and me. I was told to start working by 8 a.m. the next day. Everything was working for my good. I got a job and a house on the same day. I got to understand that the moon goddess was trying to put a smile on my face. One good turn deserves another chance. At exactly 8 a.m., I arrived at the convenience store with a smile on my face, greeting my new boss. The lady was kind enough to show me around and gradually taught me so many things, since it was my first time working in a store. No matter my flaws, she never yelled or lashed out at me. She was kind till the end of the day. She made me wonder if nice humans like this ever existed. My former workplace wasn't anything close to perfect, as the humans there were very rude, making me hate humans. But my new boss, with her perfection and calmness, had changed that perspective. She wore a smile that made everything seem unique. Soon the house will be complete, and it will be close to my workplace, and soon everything will become perfect again. I could be happy again.
Chapter 3 Alpha Maverick. The stomping feet of Alpha Maverick Xander could be heard through the hallway as he marched towards the meeting room where the Council of Elders was all seated, waiting for him. This was the 5th time he had been called upon by the Council due to his lack of ability to find himself a mate. Nobody cared if he had found the one destined for him by the Moon Goddess. They all wanted him to have someone beside him, be it his fated mate or a chosen one. Alpha Maverick Xander was an alpha feared by the rogue wolves because he was fearless, brutal, and bloodthirsty when it came to his pack members. He didn't care if they were his friends or family members, as long as they were a threat to his pack members. He would show no mercy in having them killed and use them as an example to those trying to harm or attack his pack. Because of that, the werewolves in the Silver Crest pack were safe and happy. They were singing praises to the moon goddess for bringing him into their lives. But the laws are laws. They have to stand and not meant to be broken. The law states that any alpha without a Luna is not fit to be an alpha, and is therefore dethroned from his position as an alpha, and for the position to be given to another with a Luna. Now that was the case of Alpha Maverick. Soon he would be dethroned and his position given to another that was fit and capable of ruling with his Luna beside him. Many feared that once the great Alpha Maverick Xander was dethroned, their pack would face a great risk of rogue wolves attacking them. Many people didn't want him gone, but none could dare disobey the law that had been there even before most of them were born. "It's great for you to grace our presence on short notice like this, Alpha Maverick," the chief speaker of the Elders' Council said, and they all bowed in reverence. Alpha Maverick smiled at him before taking a seat. "I wouldn't dare disobey the wise and noble council members," he replied, though deep down, if he had his way, he would have all of them removed and officially destroy anything that has to do with the Elders' Council from his pack forever. To what do I owe this meeting that you practically called on short notice? Not that I'm complaining, though, but I have lots of work to do concerning the pack and how to get it to greater heights. Alpha Maverick addressed the council members politely.
We're sorry about that, Alpha, but we called you here because of the situation at hand.
Another council member spoke up. What situation is that, if I may ask?
The situation is your inability to find a mate that would rule beside you in bettering the pack. It has been over 3 years since you started ruling us without a mate, and you know it's against the law of the pack. But because of your good nature and wisdom in ruling the pack, we decided to grace you with enough time. You know the grace expires, and as it is, we cannot further grace you with any more time. In a month, it will be 4 years without a Luna,
the chief speaker said.
I've heard all that you said, but it seems you have forgotten that it's not in my power to find me a mate. I don't have the ability and power to do so. The power to do that belongs to the moon goddess, and I can't question her decision,
Alpha Maverick said, trying to control himself from flaring up.
Yes, we all know that. But since the moon goddess chose to be silent in your case, we have decided to carry the responsibility of finding you a mate,
the person considered as the third council member said, while the others nodded in agreement.
What? What do you mean by that?
Alpha Maverick questioned.
It's exactly as you've heard. We have decided to choose a mate for you. We've chosen Elissa Hardy, the late Beta's daughter. She is fierce, respectful, kind, and strong. She is the perfect match for you. We've all deliberated about it carefully, and we finally came up with the conclusion that you must have her as your Luna,
the fifth council member said.
I refuse to take a total stranger that is not fated to me by the moon goddess as a mate.
Alpha Maverick lashed out, finally unleashing the anger that he had been building up deep inside of him.
You have no choice, Alpha Maverick Xander. The council members have spoken, and so shall it be,
the chief speaker said, hitting his hand hard on the table with a loud thud.
You all must be joking. I have a choice, and will not be forced to take in someone I have no connection with, all in the name of abiding by the law and pleasing you all. You council members shall and will not dictate to me who to choose or who not to choose. And no matter how many times you call me to such a fucking meeting, my answer will remain the same. And no, I won't choose a mate selected by you all. I will wait patiently for the one the moon goddess has destined for me. And that's final.
Alpha Maverick yelled in anger, his eyes burning with rage. His claws were out, as his wolf Axel wasn't one to take rubbish or insults from others.
Then you should be ready to give up your position as the alpha of the Silver Crest pack,
one of the council members retorted.
Don't you dare say that to my face, or I will have your head on a spike and placed at the entrance of the pack gate,
he threatened, pointing at the one who said that while grinding his teeth.
It is the law, and the law must be obeyed,
the chief speaker said.
Damn the law, and damn it to hell. I don't fucking care what your law says. This is my pack, and the Alpha is my title, and no one can take it from me. I have fought and bled for this pack to be where it is today. Now you expect me to give up my crown because of not having a Luna? To do what exactly? What is the use of the Luna that I, Alpha Maverick Xander, cannot do? What can't I give you all that a woman can give you? An heir that will one day rise and take over your throne to protect us from future attacks.
Alpha Maverick couldn't help but release an outburst of laughter, which got the council members a bit confused and began murmuring among themselves.
Because of an heir, you want me to give up my throne. That is one of the dumbest shit you all have spoken since I sat down on this chair. Now listen, every one of you seated here,
He commanded, standing up from his seat to address them. They all adjusted, fear written all over their faces, as they never expected such an outburst.
I'll give you an heir when I deem it fit, and I will get a Luna when the moon goddess has given me one. Until then, I will not condone if you all call me into this kind of meeting to talk about something stupid like this. Next time you all call me here for meaningless conversation again, I don't know what I might allow my anger to do to you all. To you, it's meaningless, but to the council members of this pack, it is meaningful. You have until the next full moon, which is a month's time, to find your Luna, or choose the one we have assigned for you. If by the next full moon you haven't gotten a mate, I, Elder Andre Water, will strip you of every right you have as an Alpha.
Elder Andre, the oldest person amongst the council members, said,
I dare you to try it. When that time comes, we will see who will be stripping who of their powers.
With that, he walked out of the meeting room, ignoring the calls of the council members who were yelling for him to take his seat. When Alpha Maverick arrived at his office, the first thing he did was to create a ruckus in his office, throwing off everything he could lay his hands on, smashing his office equipment against the wall as they broke into different pieces. The site was a total mess. With a loud scream, his beta came running in, scared of what Alpha Maverick might turn the office into.
Alpha,
He called out to him.
how dare they? Lorenzo, how dare they tell me they will strip me of my Alpha position when all I have done for them is to fight, have a sleepless night, and even bleed for them just to make sure the pack is safe, and they have the guts to say they will strip me of my position?
He roared. Who could dare calm that temper and pheromones he was emitting out of him? His anger couldn't be controlled by anyone right now. And Lorenzo stood, not knowing what to do.
Alpha, you need to calm down. Little things like this could ruin your reputation. I will go get an Omega to come clean up your office and get someone to go order some new office chairs, televisions, and other things that need replacing. In the meantime, Alpha, you should go out and go calm down your nerves,
Lorenzo said, suggesting methods of unnerving himself.
I don't feel like it. I'm too pissed to leave the pack,
Alpha Maverick grumbled.
That's why you need it. Go to the park, walk around, go see a movie, or go sing a song. I think humans call it a karaoke room. Just go there and clear your mind. Before you get back, things will be placed in order,
Lorenzo said, pushing him slightly towards his car. Soon, he was sitting in the car, and he drove off to go do exactly what his beta told him to do. Chapter 4 Maverick. I didn't know how Lorenzo did it, because I found myself driving to the park to clear my mind off so many thoughts. I know I was being stubborn, and it's a must to follow the rules. But I wouldn't just choose a random person I don't connect with as my mate. What if I finally find my mate? What will happen to the random girl? Do I then let her go and be done with her? All these thoughts kept crossing my mind as I watched humans running around in the park, children laughing and smiling as they rode the ferry and did other fun things. This wasn't helping, because the words of the council members kept replaying over and over again in my head. I guess movies will be the next plan for me. I got into the car and drove off to the cinema to see if I could calm my nerves. I was lucky to purchase the last ticket to watch the latest Marvel movie. Though it was an action movie, I kept seeing my life playing out right on the screen. I kept watching myself sitting in the room with the council members while they lashed at me about my inability to get a mate and be a true leader. This wasn't helping. Nothing was helping my situation right now. My mind was like a time bomb, ready to explode any moment. I felt my body hurting. I was angry, and it was affecting my wolf, Axel, who was furious and was trying to surface. "No, not here, Axel. Calm down, please," I grunted. I could feel my hands slowly changing into my wolf's fur, gradually starting showing. Standing up from the seat I was sitting on, I ran out of the restroom. I was breathing hard. My body temperature was rising, and the burning inside of me intensified. That was the worst way to be seen by humans, and this wasn't what I planned when I left the pack. I wanted to calm my nerves. I guess leaving the pack triggered Axel's anger. He must have felt I was running away from the situation instead of facing them head on. I groaned out as I felt my canine starting to surface. I increased the speed of my steps as I walked towards my car. Once inside my car, I started the car and drove off at top speed to the nearest woods where I could let Axel out and be free from this torture. Each drive to the woods was tormenting, as I kept fighting with my wolf not to take over. My reflection in the rear mirror was horrifying. My fangs were out, fur were on my face, and my eyes were bloodshot. My hands morphed into wolf's form and back to human form on repeated occurrences. Finally parking my car in a hidden spot, I got out and I allowed Axel to completely take over me. Axel's color was black, and he was huge, a perfect fit for an alpha like me. Soon he was running deeper and deeper into the woods, howling into the night as he kept running until he came to the edge of a rift and came to a halt. After that, he howled into the darkness one last time and went silent. "Are you done? Because of your rage, you almost blew up our cover," I said to him through our mind link. "You are the reason I am angry. How would you allow them to talk to us that way? And all you could do is run away with your tails between your legs instead of fighting them and killing one of them to show that you fear no one," Axel said. "I didn't run, Axel. And you know we can't kill the council members, even if we want to." I explained what he already knows to him. "I don't fucking care. They keep messing with us after what we have done for them. Those ungrateful bastards," he roared. "Soon, Axel, soon. Just know I won't sit still and watch anyone take what we have fought for and what is rightfully ours. I'll make sure they come crawling on their knees and beg us. We would make sure they bleed while begging. I just need the perfect time to attack. But for now, let's be calm. I promise you, I won't let them take our throne, I said. I could feel him relaxing, and slowly he started allowing me access to my body. And finally, I was able to morph into my human form. I'm sorry, Maverick, for losing control. I hope I didn't hurt any human, because I won't be able to forgive myself, Axel said, and I smiled. Don't worry, I'll make sure to keep you in check. Now get us out of here, it's freezing, I said to Axel, and morphed back into my wolf form, running through the woods back to our car. When I was close to the car, I morphed back to my human form and grabbed a coat at the back seat, wore it before getting into the driver's seat, and off I went. I had to drop by the boutique to get some new outfits. I couldn't go back to the pack looking like this. It would give them talks and rumors, and I wasn't ready for that. I went into the store and was struck with the smell of roses and lavender which filled the air. It is this smell that one perceives when he or she is close to one's mate. This can't be. Why now? And why is it in a place like this? Don't tell me my mate is a human. How am I going to start explaining my origin to her or him? Wouldn't that make me look like a crazy person? Then I'll have to morph and show her or him what would drive them insane. The moon goddess must be playing a prank on me, and I wasn't ready for that at the moment. Not having a human mate with the issues at hand. A human mate will give the council a lot of things to talk down on me with. I knew everything was ruined. Now I have to settle for the mate that was chosen by the council members. I turned around to walk away when someone grabbed my hands, and I turned around to see the most beautiful lady I've ever seen in my life. And Axel was tapping his feet, excitedly howling in my head. I didn't know when I growled the word, mine. Alyssa. These past few days have been the best days of my life. My boss wasn't that demanding or rude to me, and most times she told me to take days off because of my condition. But I always told her I prefer working to staying at home, because it reminds me a lot of my miserable life and how lonely I feel. I got so close to her that I told her about my failed relationship and that I was pregnant with my ex-husband. But no matter how close we were, never did I ever tell her that I was a werewolf. I didn't know how she would take the news, and if she would use it against me, so I would rather let that one remain a secret between me and my wolf. I had gotten myself registered for antenatal care to monitor the process of my pup. This was my first fruit, and I wanted to make sure the pup was strong. I wanted to train the pup to be strong, and I want to be strong for him or her too. I wanted to do it and be proud of myself. I will never make Roddy see my weakness or make him feel that he won over me. Never. I will stand tall and be bold in case he comes back begging. I will have every reason to kick him out or even kill him.
Did you hear what I said, Alyssa?
Asked Rosaline, my boss.
I'm sorry, I didn't get what you said at all.
I replied honestly. I was lost there for a moment. What did you say? I asked her.
Are you sure you're okay? You can go to the back and have some rest. I told you not to come to work today, but you wouldn't listen. You're damn too stubborn.
Rosaline scolded me. I'm fine. I was just thinking. Nothing is serious about it. What do you want me to do for you, Rosa? I asked. She hated me calling her by her name, but like she always says, I'm stubborn.
Nothing related to work. I'm going to my friend's party, and they said I could come with a friend. It's a top-notch party, and I wanted you to come with me, she said,
And I gasped. Party? I've never been a fan of that. And besides, I didn't have what to wear. Most of my clothes have gotten a lot smaller for me, and I have just gradually started buying new clothes. Slowly, renovating the house took a lot from me, and I was left with little.
If you don't want to go, it's all right. I understand. You don't have to force yourself if you hate it,
Rosaline said, and I could see the disappointment in her eyes. She must have had high expectations of me being her escort to the party. No, Rosaline, it's not that. I don't have anything to wear to the party. I'm a huge fan of parties. I lied to her, but I was honest about not having anything to wear to the party.
If it's the clothes aspect, then you can rest assured that I got you covered,
she said, running to her bag and coming back with her card.
Buy anything you want to buy. Please just come with me, please, she pleaded. I can't accept this. I have money to buy the clothes I want,
I said, trying to reject the card that was already in my hand. I tried to give her back the card, but she rejected it, saying she wouldn't want me to stress my account for her pleasure. With that, she pushed me out of her shop, and soon I stopped a taxi. I told him to take me to the closest boutique around the area. Then we were off. She said to buy something classic that would expose some part of my cleavage with words like, "You are a beautiful woman. Don't let your past relationship determine your future." If she knew that werewolves' lifestyle was different from humans and the pains we go through, I guess she would understand my point of view and why I was staying away from men. Those breeds weren't good for me and not worth my love or attention. I went into the boutique after paying the taxi driver. I walked to the spot where the clothes were a little cheaper. I started searching for the perfect description of what my boss told me to get when I perceived the smell of sawdust mixed with the smell of grapes. An odd combination, but not odd enough to stir up Leia. "Maid!" Leia screamed. "Roddy? But that's not how Roddy smells. Or has the distance changed everything?" I asked her. "It's not Roddy. It's her maid," Leia stammered cheerfully. "Maid? How is it possible? If it's not Roddy, how are we perceiving another mate's pheromones?" "Second chance, maid!" Leia exclaimed. "That's insane. I'll just look for the person and tell him to stop confusing us with his pheromones," I said to Leia. I started sniffing him, and the smell led me to someone who was about to leave the boutique, and I hastened my footsteps to get closer to him. I stretched out my hand to grab his arm. "Excuse me," I called out to him, and he stopped and turned around to look at me. And I froze. He could fit the description of a goddess. His sculpture face and toned chest. Everything was revealed with the body-fitted clothes he was putting on. And I gulped hard on my saliva as my brain went blank when both Leia and this handsome prince said the word, mine.
Chapter 5. Third Person Point of View. I'm sorry, I thought you were someone I know, Alyssa lied. She couldn't believe the words she heard from this stranger. Mine, like she was his. Not again. I won't be fooled by any mate bond. I just want to be free from all of this. Moon Goddess, please send him far away from me, she prayed within herself. Bowing her head apologetically, she turned around to leave, but was held firmly on the wrist by Maverick, who stared deeply into her eyes. He knew something wasn't right. He had never been mistaken by someone before, so why now? Except she felt the mating pull too. He wanted to be sure he wasn't just imagining the situation. He wanted to know what pulled her to him. Maverick sniffed the air around her, but she wasn't emitting the smell of a werewolf, and that got him a little confused. I don't think it was a mistake. I think you know me, Maverick said, leaning closer to her. I'm sorry. It really was a mistake. You look a lot like my brother who left the house and never came back. I've been in search of him, and you guys are built in the same way. Alyssa lied blatantly to him. Lies, Axel yelled in his head, and Maverick smiled. He knew she was lying. Whatever she is, she was good at hiding her true form, but wasn't good at hiding her lies. You are coming with me, miss, Maverick said, pulling her along with him, and she struggled to free herself. When she saw everyone was staring at them, she composed herself and allowed herself to be dragged out. She hated scenes, and she wasn't going to create one right now until she was alone with the bastard that thinks it's all right to drag a lady like that. Alyssa waited for the perfect time to strike, and being alone in the parking lot of the boutique was the perfect time. Adjusting her gown upwards so she could kick him hard on his loins and break his hand, just as she had trained herself in her former pack, the dark blue Crest. Aluna had to be able to defend herself in times of trouble, especially during rogue wolves' attacks. That was their law. Alyssa was trained in ways she felt like they were trying to take her life from her, but soon she was accustomed to it and could take out anybody, especially this alpha right in front of her. Alyssa was about to attack when she was slammed into a car and she felt a sharp pain in her right arm. Ouch! What the fuck is your problem? She exclaimed, rubbing her hands. She had to pretend she was human no matter what, unless he knew that she was pulled in by the mate bond. She didn't want to reject any other alpha wolf. Once rejected and once pain was enough for her. I'm sorry, but you were about to attack me and I had to strike first. I want to make this clear, because I know you ain't just an ordinary human. You were attracted to me, and Axel could tell you were lying when you said something about me looking like your missing brother. So let's get this straight and no games. You are my mate, destined by the Moon Goddess, and you're going to accept me. You will become the future Luna of the Silver Crest pack, and my people will be glad to have someone like you, he commanded. She hated the word, Luna, especially hearing it from an arrogant alpha who clearly didn't seem like he was interested in the love that the mating bond comes with. This could be another roadie, she thought to herself. Another roadie means another cheating bastard, which would result in another rejection, which she wasn't ready for. Prevention is better than cure. It would be best to avoid that kind of occurrence on time. I am sorry, but did you bump your head or something? What do you mean by Luna, Axel, Moon Goddess, Silver Crest pack, and mate? Alyssa asked him, still trying to pretend she knew nothing of what he was saying, and that got Maverick pissed. We'll find out, Maverick said, and before Alyssa could understand what he meant, she felt a sharp pain in her arm. Maverick had just made a little cut with his claws on her skin. He observed the cut, timing when the healings would take place, ignoring the swears and insults being thrown at him by the lady that was meant to be his mate. Hoping Axel and his instincts were right, a minute later, her wounds were completely healed, like it had never happened, and he smirked. "You were saying something about bumping my head on what, werewolf?" he growled. "By the way, I'm Alpha Maverick Xander, ruler of the Silver Crest pack. And you are?" Maverick asked, stretching his hand towards her. "Just a stranger you won't be seeing again. Let's just assume this never happened. I mean us. Both of us never met. Yes, I admit I got pulled in by the mating bond, but seeing you in person and your attitude? Hell no. I do not want to spend the rest of my life with you," Alyssa said, folding her arms and staring at him. "Why, if I may ask? Is it because of the scratch on your skin? If it is, then I am sorry about it. I wanted to confirm if I was right or wrong. So, I apologize. Can we start over again from the beginning by telling me your name, so we can start from somewhere?" Maverick said with a smile on his face, which looked awkward to Alyssa. "No, I'm sorry. Your kind is so troublesome for me. If you will excuse me, I was busy inside," Alyssa said, turning around to walk away when she felt a pair of hands wrapped around her waist. The beating sound of a heart that wasn't hers startled Maverick as he quickly withdrew his hands from her body, confused as he stared at her, not knowing what to say next. Instead of asking questions, he placed his hand on her stomach, and closing his eyes, he could hear the faint heartbeat of something inside her stomach. She was pregnant. You are pregnant? How did that happen?" he asked her, as his brain was confused. So was his wolf. "Stay away from me!" That was the last thing she said before running away from him. Maverick was too shocked to even move his legs, much less running after her. He saw her stopping a cab, and she gave the cab driver her address, and they drove off. Registering her address in his head, he was planning on paying her a visit and finding out how his mate was pregnant with a child for someone else.
Chapter 6. Alpha Maverick. It happened so fast, and I stood still watching my mate board a taxi. I couldn't get her name, but thanks to my werewolf hearing ability, I could get her address. Forget about the name or address for a moment. She is pregnant. How is she pregnant? What game is this moon goddess playing with me? First, she delayed me from meeting my mate. When all my peers were getting their mates and living happily, I was a lone wolf with no mate and none to call mine. When I finally thought she smiled at me, she surprised me with a pregnant mate. She must definitely be mocking me up there, or wherever she is right now. I couldn't just wrap my head around the situation. My legs couldn't move when I wanted them to move. I felt numb from shock. "Dummy, are you gonna stand there and watch her leave forever? We wanted a mate, and there she was. All you could do was stand there and watch her run away. Never thought you could be this stupid," Axel said through the mind link. I knew at once that it was going to be another round of nagging and getting pissed. I had to find a way of trying not to make him mad, else my secrets would be exposed. "Did you notice that she was pregnant? Or was it just me that felt the other heartbeat now?" I asked him and scoffed. "Aren't you anxious about our little mate and how she got pregnant? If you stay still, how will you find out?" Axel asked. "It seems she has mated already, since she was pregnant. I guess we'll have to settle for the Elsa Hardy girl the council chose for us. I don't want to be the one to ruin her home," I replied to him, I tried moving one foot once more, and my legs finally obeyed me. I entered the car, strapped the seatbelt, and drove off. I don't know if I was right or wrong, but I couldn't get myself to do that. Ruining someone's perfect home just because she is my mate. Moreover, I'm not willing to share my mate with no alpha, beta, gamma, delta, omega, or even humans. She's going to be the Luna of the Silver Crest, and not some shared gift or toy. What do you think you're doing? Axel popped into my head again. Driving? Or what does it seem like I am doing? I replied to him with a question. I know you're driving, but you are obviously going in the wrong direction. It's meant to be the other route, he said, and I hissed. I'm driving us to the pack. I'm not chasing after someone else's mate, I told him. Don't you want to find answers about her? Well, if you don't want to, I want to, he growled. Not now. I will, when I've rested. Tomorrow we can go look for her. But for now, the pack first. I've missed a lot of work today, I said, shutting him off. My drive back to the pack was a quiet one. I loved listening to music while driving, but right now, I don't feel like it. I needed a quiet moment to think about my next plan. I wanted to be sure looking for her was worth it. Or I should just mind business and accept the Luna they chose for me. How will those elders react when they find out that the supposed mate I've been waiting for is pregnant? What about me? Am I willing to accept a child that wasn't created from my sperm? Why is it that things never go the way I planned them? The only thing that works well for me is when I plan for war, but the others keep failing. I pulled into the parking lot of the pack and got off. Immediately, I saw Lorenzo running towards me. When he saw my countenance, he was shocked.
Alpha, what happened?
He asked when he saw me on the coat with nothing underneath it.
Axel did. He got angry. Wait, before you ask, don't worry. No human saw me. And yes, I was able to handle the situation. Does that answer your questions? Yes, thank you,
I said, walking towards my office, and Lorenzo walked beside me.
You're not in your brightest mood. What happened, apart from Axel?
He asked, and I stopped, turning around to face him. Stop snooping and trying to pry answers from me, Lorenzo. I just want to rest. Is it too much to ask? I replied to him. I entered my office and walked to my seat to see if I could get some work done and some files sorted out, but it was a failed mission. All I could see was her face, the address, and the heartbeats of the pup ringing in my head.
Fuck this!
I yelled, scattering all the files. I was about to destroy the table which they had just replaced when Lorenzo quickly dragged it out far from my reach, and I snared at him.
Yeah, I was right. Something really happened. Wanna search with me, Maverick?
Asked Lorenzo. Lorenzo isn't just my beta. He is my cousin. We were born on the same day. We share birthdays. But he has a mate and a son. Our bonds grew stronger each passing year, and I doubt nothing will be able to sever the bond.
I hate how you can read through me. But if you want to know, I've no choice but to tell you.
I found my mate.
What? Where is she? Isn't she supposed to be here with you? Is she cute, beautiful, sexy, and hot like you want her to be? Does she have good height? I mean, is she tall? Remember, you have a thing for tall girls. So, is she fit to be our Luna?
He kept asking. I couldn't count how many questions he asked, but I could only pick a few from it, and I knew it was more than 10. Yes, she is fit to be a Luna, but she is pregnant, I announced.
Yeah, pregnant. That can do for a Wait, what?
He yelled uncontrollably, almost destroying my eardrums.
Pregnant? How's that possible? Have you been seeing her behind my back and got her pregnant?
Yes, exactly. I've been seeing and sleeping with her a lot because I love and enjoy being called to the council meeting and hear them talk trash about me and my inability to find a mate. That's very sweet of me, isn't it? I asked him sarcastically while raising an eyebrow at him.
I'm sorry, my bad. I was just shocked. I don't understand what you meant by she's pregnant. How is she pregnant? What does that mean? Does that mean that she has a mate already?
Asked Lorenzo. Yeah, it seems that she has made it already, I said, my expression becoming sad.
So what are you gonna do? Run after her? Find out where she lives and know if she made it or not? Or who is her fated mate that she is living with?
He kept asking a series of questions, which was tiring. If I don't leave here, I guess I will be questioned to death. No, Lorenzo, I won't do that. I just want to go in and rest. Do you think you can handle the rest of the things here and sort out the other files? I just want to be alone, I said, walking out and heading towards my chambers. I went to the bathroom and had a warm bath, got dressed in a robe, and laid on the bed. My thoughts were occupied with concerns about her. Who is the father of the pup? Am I willing to risk everything and claim her, knowing what people in the pack will think of me? Am I willing to share her with someone else if I accepted her and her mate? I didn't know when I slept off, but I found myself in the woods, and it was dark. I could hear the sounds of footsteps running, twigs breaking, and branches falling, birds chirping, and also the sounds of crickets. I heard someone panting, and I raised my head. To my surprise, it was the lady that was meant to be my fated mate. She was running and was being chased by some people in black clothes, but I couldn't see their faces. I took to my heels, chasing after them. Every time I thought I was getting closer to them, they seemed to be getting further away from me, and it was confusing and frustrating. All of a sudden, the lady fell, and she was looking at me with her bloody face and hands. She stretched out her hand towards me. "Please save me. Save my pup, please. Don't let him get to her," she pleaded, turning her gaze to the men who were chasing her. The leader of the group of men walked towards her, and suddenly a silver sword appeared in his hand. I could perceive the smell of wolfsbane coming from the sword.
No, no, don't touch her, or I will fucking kill you if you do.
I yelled at the top of my voice, but neither of them could hear me any longer. I kept running towards them, but it seemed I was running on the same spot without moving. And with a swing of his sword, her lifeless body laid still on the ground.
No!
I screamed out of my sleep, knocking the lamp from the table close to my bed, which startled me as it fell down, breaking into different parts, and I stopped to look around me. I was in my room and not in the woods anymore. It was just a dream. I was drenched in my sweat. The dream seemed so real. Why was I dreaming about someone who was already mated? Who were the men chasing after her? And why couldn't I protect her from being killed? Whatever this dream is, it means I had to find her, and find her really quick to ask some questions. She might be in danger, and it seems I am the only one that can protect her. In the morning, the first thing is to locate her and find out about her life and know if she is in danger or something. Especially to know if she is mated or not. And if not, then I need to know who the father of the pup is.
Chapter 7. Alyssa. I didn't know when I raced off and boarded a taxi to my house. I told the taxi driver the address to my house, and soon we drove off. I kept checking if he was following us. Once I confirmed that he wasn't, I placed my hand on my chest to calm my beating heart. I know this mating bond is a kind of weakness to me. The tingling sensation I felt when he placed his hands on my waist was somewhat different from the feelings I had when Rhodey did the same thing. I hate this. I never asked for this. Neither did I tell the moon goddess I wanted a second chance mate. I wanted to live my life freely and peacefully with my pup until he or she grows up. But now I have to run away again to avoid heartbreak from happening the second time. I got out of the car and gave the driver his money, after which I entered the house and threw my bag on the couch. As soon as I sat down to catch my breath, I saw Rosalind's card poking out of my bag, and I remembered I was supposed to buy something classic for her party tomorrow. Thanks to Mr. Second Chance Mate, everything has been ruined. I have to leave. But first, I must return Rosalind's card to her. My apartment was far from my workplace, so I had to stroll there. I saw Rosalind attending to a customer with a smile on her face. When she saw me, the smile brightened, but slowly faded when she saw I wasn't smiling back at her. Bidding the customer goodbye, she ran over to me. "Alyssa, what's wrong? Why the long face?" she asked with concern in her voice. "I am sorry, Rosa. I can't make it tomorrow. I have to leave," I replied to her, feeling remorseful. "Why? What's wrong? What happened, and why are you leaving?" "My parents called me. There was an accident and they needed me at home. I have to go to them." I lied blatantly, without thinking about how she'd feel if she found out I was lying. I needed to say something as an explanation as to why suddenly I was leaving her and my apartment for an unknown place. "Oh, I see. I'm sorry about your parents. When will you be coming back?" she asked. "I don't know for now, but soon. I'm really sorry. I know you had high expectations, especially about the party we were supposed to attend together. Now I've ruined it for you. I'm so sorry." I apologized to her. No need. Your family comes first. Hold on," she said, walking over to the counter and returned with some money in her hands. "Here, take this and take care of your family," she said, placing the money in my hand. I couldn't contain the tears that had been welling up anymore. I had to let it flow freely down my eyes. "Thank you very much, Rose. I am indeed grateful to you." I appreciated her kind gesture, sniffing, and she laughed. "Call me when you get back home, and know that when you come back, the store is always open to welcome you. You need to prepare for your journey tomorrow," she said, urging me out of her store. I knew she was going to cry somewhere quiet, but she didn't want me to see it. Murmuring a thank you, I walked back to my apartment. First thing was to get busy packing some things I will be using when I travel to a place I don't know yet. I just had started to sort things out. When I was done, I went straight to bed. I was thinking of my next destination when sleep took over. Soon I started having a nightmare. The same nightmare I've been having for some time now. A nightmare where I was chased by Rhodey and his pack members, but this time it was different. I saw him, my new alpha mate, running towards me to save me, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't make it this time. Then I saw Rhodey holding a silver sword laced with wolfsbane, and this was different from what I'd been seeing. Before, I was captured and taken back to the dark blue crest, but now he has a sword to eliminate me. I pleaded with him to spare my life, but the sword pierced through me, and I screamed out of my sleep, falling off the bed. I wanted to scream, but my mouth wouldn't move. That wasn't a nightmare I want to ever experience again. Slowly getting up from the floor, I checked the time, and it was 6 a.m. No need to sleep again. I guess this was the moon goddess waking up alarm for me. I quickly went to cross-check my stuff to be sure I wasn't missing anything that would be urgently needed where I was going. After placing everything in order, I prepared my last breakfast here, toasted bread and scrambled eggs. I also drank my last coffee in this house. When I was done, I did the dishes and went to the bathroom to get cleaned up. I dressed up in a pair of blue jeans, an oversized t-shirt, and a pair of black sneakers. I walked towards the door, dragging my luggage along. Opening the door, I was standing face to face with a stranger, a familiar stranger, and I froze. "Going somewhere, miss?" he asked. "What are you doing here, and how did you find—" "Shoot! Stupid me!" I exclaimed, when I remembered I had told the driver my house address, forgetting that he was a wolf and could hear from afar. "It seems you are traveling. May I ask where to?" he asked again. "None of your business. If you'll excuse me, I have somewhere to go and I'm running late." "I'm sorry," he apologized, startling me and making me confused. Why is he apologizing to me? I asked myself. "Why are you apologizing?" I asked him, taking a step backward. "For the way I treated you when we first met. If I had known you were pregnant, I wouldn't have treated you that way, but handled you with care," he said. "It doesn't matter. Anybody would have reacted that way when they were about to be attacked. So with that, can you kindly make way for me to pass?" "Okay, I will. But I have more questions, and I know you won't answer them. But I seriously do want to know." "You know I won't answer them, so you can leave, mister. We don't want to create a bloody scene here in a peaceful environment," I threatened him, and he smiled at me. "It's not mister, but Maverick Xander. I remember telling you my name the last time, and I was hoping you would tell me yours. But seeing you want to make a bloody scene, then I am sorry if my manner of approach seems to piss you off." "Will you stop apologizing and just leave, please?" I ordered. I was about to move when he blocked my path again as a weird smile played across his lips. I guess he was actually looking for trouble. "What now?" "I really want to apologize this last time. I hope you can forgive me for what is about to happen, now and in the future," he said, joining his hands together. "What is your problem, and why are you—" I felt something hard at the back of my neck, and slowly my vision became blurry until it was replaced with darkness. Alpha Maverick. I shouldn't have done it, carrying someone against her wishes, but I had to. I had to find out what she was. I had my boys scan through the house to check if she was living alone, and once I found out that she was indeed alone, with no mate or anyone, I carried out my next plan of making her pass out so we could take her back to my pack. I sat on the chair in my room, watching her closely as she lay on my bed, sleeping. It was meant to be a little hit. I guess it was harder on her than we thought. Who could she be? What is her name, and who is responsible for her pregnancy? In an attempt to take her out of her vicinity without being caught, They ended up forgetting everything that belonged to her at the entrance of her house. I hope they get back on time before she wakes up. I want to access her data before she wakes up. Maybe it will draw me closer to the dream I had about her. There was a knock on my door. I stood up to answer it, and it was Lorenzo with the lady's handbag. Thanking him, I collected it and closed the door behind him. I went straight to the table and emptied the things inside her bag on the table. There was her passport, some money, makeup stuff, pens, and some relatively irrelevant things inside. I decided to check the passport because that would hold a lot of information that I might need. Elissa Smith, age 22, height 5'6". Nice. And her address. This address seemed familiar. Where have I seen this address before? I heard her groan, and turned around to watch as she slowly sat up, rubbing the back of her neck. I'm glad you slept well. Welcome back to the world of the living, I said with a cheerful smile. Where am I? She asked, looking confused. My home. Like I said earlier, I'm sorry, but I had to do this. Now, can we talk?